Hi, I'm Nicole with The Simple You, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about meal planning and why I think it sucks. So I just started a meal plan at the beginning of the year, and I definitely did not see myself in this position of having a plan for my meals. When I heard the word meal planning, I was always turned off by the idea. I always thought that it was, lots of work because you're spending, everyone's like prep one day a week or every 2 weeks and you've got all these meals. It's great and it is awesome because I'm not knocking it. It definitely is something that works. You're eating healthy foods. But for me, it didn't fit with my lifestyle. So I was always turned off by that. The second thing I thought of when I heard about meal planning is boring because you do eat a lot of the same stuff, or some people do like Taco Tuesday and pizza on Friday and Monday through Friday or Monday through Sunday. They are constantly having the same thing. I never thought that that was for me. So I decided to sit down and think like, how can I make meal planning work for myself? And that's what I challenge you to do. If you're watching this, you're a lot like me, where you haven't found your rhythm yet on meal planning. You're busy, you're either a boss or you work for a company, so you're working at long hours, managing children, either at work or at home, depending on your job. There might be big children there. So you have no time to do, the last thing you think about is meal prepping. And some people are really good about it because they know exactly what they're doing for that week. Now I'm going to teach you how to get on that page so you know what you're doing for that week and it makes sense for you. You don't have to think anymore of your next step. I would find myself in the position of, I go grocery shopping for the week, but I would find that I wouldn't, defrost the chicken that I had in the freezer up until, I look at the time and I'm like, oops, it's 2 o'clock. I can't defrost. I mean, I guess I could put it in the microwave, but that always kind of creeped me out with the whole chicken thing. So I would think to myself, like, what am I gonna do? I'd run home and I'd be stressed out, yelling at the kids because I'm like, okay, you guys are melting down because you're starving and it's 6 o'clock and I'm still scrambling to figure something out. Or I just throw my hands up in the air and say forget it and drive through fast food and, it's problem solved. I have nothing against, being a busy person and one day you have to go to fast food, that's fine. But I don't want it to be because it's not your choice. If you, are like, I really like to get this certain food one day a week or whatever that is to you, cool, go do that. But there's a balance that you can find out for yourself. So what is your balance? When do you want to have that fast food? Rather that is having like a salad or, like a nice like panini, grill or something like that. That's totally fine. But when is that going to fit into your lifestyle? It needs to be your choice, not just because the universe happened and now you're stressed out and you're starving, your kids are starving, and you gotta, find a spot for how you're gonna fill in that dinner or lunch for that day. So this is what I came up with. I call it a meal prepping because you are prepping yourself for the week. My mom used to always tell me, like, she used to decide what she's cooking for the week and have that written down. I just have never been organized enough to do that. So I'm all about this year simplifying. That's probably not a great word to use because it doesn't sound real. Simplifying my lifestyle, and that's why I created The Simple You, because I am a work in progress, and what I'm learning, I'm trying to give that knowledge to you so you could either not have to do what I've done and make the mistakes, or just stop it and use what I've got, and hopefully it works for you as well. Because what I see a lot of times when you try something, like a meal planning or a diet plan or whatever the plan is, the problem is it's not meant for you. It's meant for the person that possibly designed it. And yeah, it's gonna work for a percentage of people, but at the end of the day, you might fall off the bandwagon because you're like, this isn't working for me. So I'm hoping that this works for everybody because it's your own plan. It's not my plan. I'm gonna show you what I did, but it can be tailored to exactly your lifestyle and the foods that you enjoy and want to map out and eat. So your first step that you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna write down your week. Just write down your schedule. So if you're working, like what's your work schedule like? If you're taking kids to activities, like when are those in there? Figure out your work week or just week in general. That's what I did. Was my first step is figuring out my week. So I found out through that process that Tuesdays we have gymnastics, so that means that we're getting home about 6 o'clock on the dot, maybe sometimes even a little after 6 depending on the traffic, and my kids are melting down at this point. I'm hungry, so I'm, like I get hangry, so I'm on like my last nerve. They're melting down because they're hungry as well. And so it wasn't fair for me to come home either not prepared or expect them to act as, in a better behavior if I wasn't providing them the proper tools to be acting that way. So what I did is, obviously I noticed that Tuesdays was a day that I know that I need something that's either something I can make in advance, that's pre-made and then I heat it up for them, the crock pot, or something very simple that's gonna take me, shrimp is something that you could obviously saute within like 10 minutes and you're done. Everybody's eating by the time that you have your dinner time and you're great. So find out those days that are your hardest days to feed people first and start breaking down those days first. So what I did, so Tuesdays for me is my busy day. So I decided that will be, I like to give myself choices because like I said before, with the whole meal prepping, I was like a little not excited about, okay, I don't want to eat tacos every Tuesday because I love tacos. And by 1 month into this, I don't want to be not loving tacos, or I don't want my kids to be complaining like, oh, you're making that again. Because let's be honest, I'm busy, so I have go-to recipes. And yes, I like to Pinterest sometimes and find new recipes, but I don't always have that extra time. So a lot of times my go-tos are what I'm pulling out of my pocket. And if I go to a recipe every single week, which I did make that mistake, my husband wouldn't eat like peppers and sausage for I think like a good few months because I made it once a week, and he's like, okay, I can't eat another pepper. I'm like, okay, fair enough. We will not eat any more pepper sausage bowls for a while. So what I did is Tuesdays are the day that I decided was going to be tacos, or I made an option. So tacos or like a hamburger type thing. So that could be, and I feel like both of those worlds have a lot of options. So it could be like a protein style, like turkey burger, or you could put that on a hamburger, obviously. You can make veggie burgers, there's fish burgers, there's lots of options when it comes to like a burger style. You can make your own, like quinoa, mushroom, veggie style burger. If you don't have time, like me, Trader Joe's, Costco, they sell, veggie ones, salmon patties. The turkey patties are great there, and there's a lot that you can mix it up and do with that. So I felt for us that was something I can come home and whip it up really quick. Then the other idea is tacos, because I can put, I don't eat red meat, but my husband does. So I end up cooking a lot with turkey meat, and so I do the turkey meat in the crock pot, put all in the spices and everything like that, and then when we get back home from gymnastics, a lot of times I'll cook either the quinoa or the rice in advance, so it's ready to go when I get home. So a lot of prepping in advance, like with your mind, really, it's not a lot of work. That's what deterred me way before, was prepping too much in advance made me stressed out, thinking, I don't even have the time to think about this second, let alone think about the week in advance. But the way I've broken this down, I don't feel stressed out, and I actually have more time and feel more relieved knowing that when I'm at the grocery store, I know exactly what I'm shopping for the week. I know, even if I don't even plan it well, and I'm gonna be telling you all my ideas today, but even if it's a week that I don't have the time to write out my shopping list and find, what I'm gonna cook, if I'm at the store and I'm like, okay, Tuesdays are my taco or a burger day, either what do I have at home that I can accomplish that, or what can I get here at the store? And I just automatically know what's gonna happen for that week, and it makes it so much easier than guessing. I'm taking this many options to figure out a meal for the day and narrowing it down to this, and it makes it so much easier. So first thing, planning out your week, finding out your busiest days, and then marking those as your busiest days, and knowing yourself, what recipes do you know that you can cook fast, and what recipes either can be cooked in advance if you have that time and that's your style, that you could just have that and heat it up ready to go, or if you have crock pot recipes. So that's something that you need to figure out what works, personalized for your lifestyle. So that's the first thing, is figuring that out. Then you need to figure out, what works with our lifestyle. So for us, I'm all about, moderation. The things that I choose to eat and choose not to eat are based purely just on my own personal preference. I don't eat red meat. I try to stay away from dairy. but that's just a personal thing that I choose to do just based on different situations that happened in my life that I feel better when I'm eating this certain way. So whatever that is for you, decide what that is going to be and when you want to place that into your menu. If you're fully a vegetarian, you don't have much thinking to do. You're obviously always having a vegetarian meal. But for my family, like my husband likes red meat. I love eating veggies, but the kids will eat them, but they're not always, wanting veggies all the time. So how I broke this down, this is going to come out into my my download that I have for you guys to take home. So you'll be able to download this straight to your own computer and fill it in however you like. But the way I broke it down is obviously by the weekday: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And so once you know your plan, what your week plan is, then you can decide what foods are going to be good for what days for you. So like I said, the tacos and the burgers are my Tuesdays because that's for me something fast and easy that I can do. My Mondays and my Fridays, because for me, I sometimes don't get to this grocery store. I was thinking in my head when I first started this program, I'm like, okay, Sundays are going to be my planning day. Monday, I'll go to the grocery store, so have food for the week. That doesn't always work out, and I think it's only worked out one time. So I always, though, have something in my freezer protein-wise or my fridge protein-wise. So I have fish or shrimp or, some sort of meat I have. So that's why I made Monday my protein inside day, because it's an easy thing that I usually have ready to go in my fridge already. So if I don't make it to the store, I still have it to make. So that's my Mondays and my Fridays, because Fridays too for us, sometimes we're not home, sometimes we go to dinner. So just depending on that, because like I said, I shop at Trader's is like, my favorite store ever. And I'll buy some of their, fish, and most of it actually is frozen. So I'll just store a few of those items in my fridge. So I usually have something to go in there. And so Fridays, if I don't end up eating Fridays at home, then it's not like something's going bad in my fridge. It's already in the freezer, and I'll probably end up eating it on Monday. So I decided. So Wednesdays we decided to do a vegetarian day, just because I like to live in moderation. I'm not against eating. It's all your certain preference. So I'm not against eating certain types of foods. But for me, I just want to have like a well-balanced thing, which is why I put these cute little picture silhouettes of each, there's a cow and a turkey and pig and shrimp and things like that, because I also want it to look cute, something that I enjoy doing. So I put the little pictures here so I can look at it visually too and say, oh, oops, did I say I'm gonna have shrimp twice this week? Like, that doesn't really sound great to me. So try to work it out so you can visually see, like, let's have, like a fish here, a turkey here, shrimp here, veggie day here, and then Friday I have it crossed out because we're not going to be home. So we all get to make our own choices when we're out at the restaurant deciding what we want to eat. Thursdays are my like a casserole or a bowl day, because I'm home on Thursdays for the most part, and my daughter gets out of school early that day, so I have a little bit more free time. So I have more time to actually make something like a casserole or a bowl or something that takes a little bit more of trying something new, like recipe wise. So I let that be like my free kind of fun day. And then when it comes to the weekends, it's really hard for us to know 100% of the time in advance if we're home or not, because we are kind of the on-the-go spontaneous type of people, which is why I always was turned off by meal planning, because I didn't feel like you could still be spontaneous. But you definitely can still be spontaneous when you do this. So my Saturdays and Sundays, like I have, right now I have on here eating leftovers, and then, a steak and ahi, like barbecue night, because my husband likes to barbecue. So that's written in there. That doesn't mean that it has to be that way. If your week goes a totally different direction, who cares? This is just your plan to help you, make a better idea and concentrate in your brain. It's nothing that you have to stress out about, and something to create a more simplistic, like prepping style plan. So with the printout that you get, this will be in there. I laminated it, and then I just use a dry erase marker, write it on there, and then erase it and start over for the next week. And I can decide, and especially like say Thursdays, our friends randomly called us up and said come over for dinner tonight, and I can take this food that I have here and know that Monday or, you know, whatever day that week I can move it to, if, you know, based on if it needs to be eaten right away or not, and just move it around depending on, you know, so it's flexible. And that's why I feel like this is a good plan that could work, because it's flexible and it's tailored to you and your lifestyle. And on the back, I just did, so I have another little printout, just a shopping list. So as the week goes on, I'm just writing in things that I'm out of. And then on that, like Sunday, when I'm deciding what I'm eating for the week, or even Monday, most of the times I do it Monday, I can write in really quick my grocery list and then like take a snapshot on my phone really quick, so I have that at the grocery store. And then what I also did, so basically each Monday through Friday is color coordinated, and I'm such a like an office supply nerd, so this gets me really excited. And so what I did is I got a folder, put recipes and meal prep on it, and I've got my little colored tabs in here, and this is where my nerd part comes in. So I color coordinated each day of the week with a tab. So when I'm looking through recipe books, or if I buy a magazine with recipes in it, I'm just gonna mark it with the same color tab. So Mondays is my protein and side day. So if it's a protein, like if it's a salmon recipe or a steak recipe, shrimp recipe, anything that's like a protein, like with a side type of recipe, I'm gonna mark that with my pink tab. And that's just the way that I color coded it, but I'll mark it with the pink tab. So now when I go through, I'll show you here. Let's see if this one has good ones. So now if I go through, this is Deceptively Delicious by Jessica Seinfeld. I actually really highly recommend this book. This is great if you have kids at home. It's a way to sneak in vegetables and just healthy things into their everyday kind of foods, because you know how kids just want to eat mac and cheese and chicken nuggets and things like that. This is a great way to sneak in the vegetables. So my purple tabs on here are like my casserole and bowl day. So right here, open it up to a spaghetti pie is what's in here. So I can look through when I'm sitting down at the beginning of whenever I'm, you know, prepping this. I can, if I don't have an idea straight in my head, I can just look through my cookbooks that I have or magazines that I have bought, which you can see here. I haven't really finished this one, but I have tabs in here based on, this is a protein, obviously. If I'm looking for a protein recipe, got it right there. Or if I'm looking for a bowl style recipe or a casserole, there you go, got it right there. And I can quickly write that in. So there's a spot here to write in what recipe you're using, or maybe you can reference like it's on my Pinterest or it's, you know, in this cookbook, just so you know, you want to think less and just, you know, I'm not saying be on autopilot because we're not trying to be zombies, but if you, to this day and age, we require so much multitasking. And we book ourselves like full to the brim. So we need to be able to do some things that don't require a lot of thinking and that are a lot more simple. So color coordinating and just being able to have that visual, for me, it works out great. If it's not something that works for you, then, you know, that's totally fine. You can decide how you want to do that. Then I just made this folder book too, because, you know, you print things on Pinterest or pull them out of magazines. So I have it color coordinated Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. I have appetizers, sides, and desserts in here, all color coordinated too, so I can start marking that in my cookbook stuff. So if I'm sitting around looking for a recipe for protein on a Monday, here we go. I've got some protein recipes that I can reference, and you know, vice versa. So whatever I find on the internet and I cook and everyone goes, thumbs up, Mom, that was good, I'll stick it in here so I can remember it. Because in the past I make something and I couldn't remember, did everybody say they liked it, or was everyone like, no, I don't think that you should cook that again. So that's why I have that to print out and actually have. Okay, so this is part 2. My previous video got cut off on the very end, which is a bummer because I thought it was very informative and I wanted to post this right away, and so the only way for me to accomplish that is to do this in 2 parts so I can close out the video and tell you the few things that I missed telling you. Basically, in the downloadable link, you'll be able to download, you want to show them, you'll be able to download the meal planning page, as well as the shopping list. Those will be in there in PDFs. Hold this for me, please. Thank you. And also a how-to guide on where to get started, kind of breaking down the video and where to start to make your plan for the week. And I will also offer a free, because I want this to work for you and make it successful, and I believe that it has to be customized in order for that to work. If you don't feel like my plan is your week, because it shouldn't be, that's not how we all are, like me. So I will, for free, send me an email and I'll customize your pictures and what you want each day for the food to be. So like my Tuesdays is Taco Tuesday, and the burger day, if you want that to be something else, casserole day, crockpot day, you name it day, then I will organize that, and then the pictures as well that correspond with that to customize for yourself. So send me an email if you have any questions, and send me an email if you want that to be customized for yourself as well for free. Thank you for watching both part 1 and part 2 videos, and this is Nicole with The Simple You. Have a great day, and thank you so much.